What's up everybody, it's Rockabee, and we've got some results to share on the newest GTA update, import and export, and how all the new supercars do around the Rockstar race taxing. By my count, there are now 22 supercars, 2 from the newest update. We'll take them all around. We'll do 3 laps, non-contact, noon and clear, with the traffic off, and we will take the best lap time for each car. Here we go! So, in dead last is the Voltic, the only car with a lap time over 1 minute. Unfortunately, you can't use the rocket Voltic in races, so we're stuck with the original, which is very slow and not good in the corners, landing it nowhere close to the rest of the competition. Next up in 21st is the Sultan that you can upgrade from Benny's. This car is also very slow, making it a poor choice for track racing. This car is best at off-road rally style racing, and if you own one, that's probably where it should stay. Next up is the Infernus. On a track like taxing, there's just no forgiving a slow acceleration or a slow top speed, which destroys any chance the Infernus had. In 20th of 22, there's a reason the Infernus has a special hashtag in any of Hike Play's live streams. Hashtag Infernus. In 19th is the Bullet, which is a little faster than the previous cars, but wants to break loose at any thought of turning the car. You see it in this high-speed turn here where it breaks loose just a little bit, and in the next turn it does much more. Any gains you made on the straightaways are immediately lost by just how gentle you have to drive it around those turns. In 18th you have the Vodka, which is kind of the opposite of the Bullet. The Vodka actually handles turns pretty well, taking the high-speed turn with ease and providing a good amount of slip in the hairpin turn, but its top speed hurt it enough to land it near the back of the pack still. In 17th, you have the Turismo, which is one of the better handling cars in the game, but again, a low top speed prevents the Turismo from being a true contender on this size of a track. In a track like taxiing, you really have to have both good handling, but really a good top speed. In 16th, you have the Cheetah. The Cheetah holds a special place in my heart, as it was my first supercar ever 3 years ago. But just like the Turismo, its low top speed makes it a bad choice for this track. The Turismo and Cheetah hold up much better on small tracks with sharper corners. In 15th is the first of the 2 new supercars from the import and export DLC, the Penetrator. Now to be fair, I'm surprised that this car is so far back in the pack. It feels fast and the handling is middle of the pack, but to my amazement the brand new car is just 0.02 of a second faster than the Cheetah. Usually Rockstar chooses to release new cars that are faster than the competition, so that you'd want to buy them, but this time the supercar is already extremely outdated the instant it came out. If you're on a budget and you're wondering if you need this car for racing, the answer is a flat out no. In 14th is the Zentorno. The Zentorno is one of those cars that just does everything with mediocrity. I can't point to speed, acceleration, or handling as any one factor for its poor showing, but I can't praise any of them either. The Zentorno isn't a bad choice for its price, but it doesn't wow anything either. In 13th is the other new supercar from the DLC, the Tempesta. The Tempesta is easily my favorite looking of all the Lamborghini-inspired cars, and is very customizable, but again, Rockstar releases a car for over $1 million that's already outdated when it comes out. I'm really confused about the choices here, especially with how big of an update this is in other categories. So again, if you're on a budget, don't bother with this car. There's many better choices to choose from, but if you like the Lamborghinis and you've been wanting one, this is a really customizable option and a fun one at that. In 12th is the T20. The T20 lost a little ground this round compared to my previous test, and with a hotly contested segment that goes from 14th all the way to 8th, the T20 did lose quite a few spots. The T20 is another pretty good all-around car, but again doesn't really wow in any one category. In 11th is the Adder. Now let me stop for a second and say I'm actually shocked at how well the Adder did. I know it's a fast car and all, but with a high top speed, but I felt that the Adder's lack of cornering ability would have knocked it down like back near the Turismo. But this is why I test these vehicles and share my results with everyone. In 10th is the last Lamborghini-inspired vehicle, the Reaper. just like the other Lambos, there's not a lot to say here. It does everything well, but it doesn't do anything show-stopping, making it a solid contender for most style of races. Basically, you're choosing which Lamborghini style you like the most. In 9th is one of my favorite supercars, the Osiris. I always pick the Osiris for cunning stunt tube races because of how much faster it is in the tubes than the stunt cars, but it still doesn't have the top speed or cornering ability to make it a true top spot contender at a race like taxiing. You see it wiggle there, get loose, and that really hurts the time. In 8th is the Entity. The Entity can be praised for a few things. One, it's the only top 10 vehicle in this list that was released at the beginning of the game. And 2, it's the only top 10 vehicle for less than $1 million. So that makes the Entity a great all-arounder, especially for someone on a tight budget. In 7th is the ETR-1. Now the ETR-1 finished 3rd in my last test with a lap time almost 3 seconds quicker than this time. When I did the last test, there was a bug in Rockstar's code that allowed these cunning stunt cars to gain traction when you changed the spoiler. That should never have been there, and when the Biker DLC came out, Rockstar fixed that bug, slowing these 3 stunt cars down. So now the ETR-1 is still a fast choice, it just isn't an insane runaway anymore, landing it in 7th. In 6th is the Tyrus. Just like the ETR-1, the Tyrus lost quite a bit of time, about 2 seconds per lap, with the Biker DLC update. The Tyrus still has a lot of traction in the corners, making it a great choice for races with high-speed cornering, but it just is not a runaway anymore. In 5th is the Banshee. I must apologize to everyone for not including this in my last test, as this car is definitely worth discussing. The Banshee has great top speed, which pushes it near the top of the leaderboard, but in the hairpin turn, it pushes way tight, and it is very hard to turn through the hairpin, hurting it just enough to keep it in 5th place. In 4th is the FMJ. Now these top 4 cars are very close together, all coming in at just under 54 seconds a lap. The FMJ has good top speed and good cornering, making it a solid choice for a supercar. However, keep in mind that the FMJ is rear-wheel drive, so if you need low-speed traction, the FMJ is going to suffer. In 3rd place, winning the bronze medal, is the 811. The awesome thing about the top 3 cars in this test here is that not only are they so close together in final lap times, they do so with 3 completely different driving habits. The 811 was barely over 1/10 of a second slower than the winner, which is less than 1 car length per lap. The thing that made the 811 a contender is its high top speed. The 811 was able to flex its strength on taxiing this large open space and make up a lot of ground on the straightaways. In the corners, however, the 811 suffers and pushes loose very quickly, so on a smaller track, the 811 would have done much worse. The 811's bread and butter is definitely big, high-speed races such as long haul that don't have many turns. In 2nd place, winning the silver medal, is the RE7B. Now, if you remember, the RE actually won my last test. However, with that Biker DLC coming out, the added traction bonus from the spoiler is now gone, causing the RE to lose about 3.5 seconds a lap. Before, the RE7B had a runaway of over 2 seconds on the Tyrus and 3.5 second lead over any non-cunning stunt car. So naturally, when the RE lost that much time, you see it's now contending for the win, but it's not a runaway. The RE is still my favorite car in this game due to its high traction and ability to take corners at very high speeds, but despite having a comparatively low speed, it makes up so much time in this hairpin turn that it almost takes the top spot. In 1st place, winning the test with the gold medal, is the X80. The X80 is the most expensive car in the game, which makes sense that it would win the race. The X80 has amazing acceleration, great top speed, and good cornering abilities, allowing it to inch out a win over the RE7B and the 811. However, it was so close that I think any of the top 3 choices, or even the FMJ in 4th, will give you a great opportunity to win races. Now it's up to you to decide if you think that the 811's top speed, the RE7B's cornering capability, or the X80's acceleration is the attribute you value the most. Also keep in mind what kind of racing you plan on doing, as that can determine which of these cars will give you the best opportunities. As always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this test, please like the video, share it out, or subscribe to me. Thanks everyone!